Welcome to San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's where we are today, and we're excited to show you our, say it,
wonderful walking tour that was free.
Free, that's the word I was looking for. Hi, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Marshall.
And welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. We need subscribers. We have a lot of views on our videos, but we're lacking in subscribers. So it would mean so much to us if you would subscribe to our channel.
But for now, let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. So my personality type is I like to make the most of every stop, but I hate walking around aimlessly. So Marshall got online, what was it, the night before we were in San Juan?
I said, let's go find something to do that we know what we're doing. So I went online and looked up walking tours and found a free walking tour.
Yeah, so this is a group or a couple of college students that give free tours, and then you just leave a tip or gratuity at the end of the tour, and they do an amazing job.
They absolutely do an amazing job, and it was only about a 5-minute walk from the getting off the ship to actually the meeting spot, and it was a wonderful day, so off we went.
Yeah, so and the meeting spot had some shaded areas, which was nice. So here we came to the square, we got into the shade. They had a clipboard with everybody's names, so we went over and gave our names and then waited for everybody else to arrive.
Yes, honestly, there were about 50 people who were showing up, and we were getting a little nervous, but they did have 2 guides. So we were split up into groups of 20, 25.
And we were assigned to Juan's group,
Yes.
which he was fabulous. I was a little concerned at first, being like 25 people in the group, if we were gonna be able to hear him well, but he did 2 things that really helped. One was whenever we got to a spot where he wanted to talk about, he waited till everyone arrived, which is huge.
Yes.
We've had some tour guides that don't do that. And secondly, he projected his voice really well.
Yeah, it was clear and just a wonderful experience, even though we were with a couple dozen people walking through narrow streets. But every time he stopped, as you said, we could hear everything he said, and then we could just take in the sights and the sounds of Old San Juan as we were going stop to stop.
And I will say it was a warm day. So the third thing he did that I really appreciated was he got to spots that were pretty shady.
Yes.
So
Yes.
look at these doors.
I know.
Gorge.
I know.
Gorge.
So we started off in that plaza, and he talked about the statue to Christopher Columbus, and then we walked down what is street number 1, and you already saw the official name of it. And he just did a great job bringing the streets to life.
Yeah, and he explained when we got into these little alleyways, somebody asked about these blue stones, and he explained where those came from, the ballast of the ships. So that was so interesting.
Yes.
It never occurred to me to ask about the history of the stone.
Yes. So I think the next stop was another plaza, another square, and this square was named after a historian and writer. And it was right by a famous church and monastery and school where the nuns were at. It was, again, a lot of history. We can't tell you everything he said, but we highly recommend, obviously we're giving you little bits of pieces, but take this tour if you're there.
Yeah, and across the street from us were these really beautifully colored buildings, and he explained when we were at this square that Old San Juan has different rules and regulations around painting of the buildings, and it was cool because no 2 buildings side by side could be the same color. And what island did they fashion it from?
They actually got it from how good looking the downtown of Curacao was.
Yeah.
And we love that place.
We do love Curacao. Yeah. We're going there fairly soon, so stay tuned for more videos because we will show you where we go in Curacao.
Yes. So another square, and we're looking at the federal building, the United States Federal Building. And notice the flag of Puerto Rico and that darker blue. That's the official flag, but you will go through Old San Juan and find a lighter blue shade where the star is. And Juan told us those are people who prefer Puerto Rico independence, and that's the independent blue color.
That was so interesting. So then I started noticing
Yes.
which buildings had which flag. So that was pretty interesting.
Well, we headed a little further south of Old San Juan, which gave us that view that you saw and you see right now.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, you're really looking across or south across the rest of Puerto Rico and seeing the mountain ranges. And he explained all the different mountain ranges.
And interestingly, we were standing actually right on top of the original old gate to the city, which we'll show you in a moment.
Yes.
But there was walls surrounding Old San Juan.
So the tour had a lot of history and also a lot of fun. And the building behind you claims this is where the pina colada was first made.
Home of the pina colada.
Right.
Yeah.
But Juan said this is not the only bar that claims to be the original pina colada place. And he puts his money on another place more down in central Old San Juan.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how people get lined up behind something like that. It's funny. So then he took us up the hill a little bit to this area that's called Pigeon Park, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit, I'll be honest, but you feed pigeons, and I'm like, no thank you.
I noticed I was filming and turned around, and all of a sudden you were way against the building behind me.
I'm sorry, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. But they ask that you only feed the pigeons inside the park for obvious reasons. But yeah, they come out of the park a little bit, so that kind of freaked me out.
Our next stop was this place, which was the governor's mansion, and where they have this part of the seat of government, and that's why you can't walk down. But you had something interesting about those Christmas decorations.
Yeah, I asked about the Christmas decorations because I noticed they were still up, and this was almost February now. And he explained that they don't take down the Christmas decorations until after February 2nd. So me still having my Christmas tree up at this point, I felt kind of good about that.
So again, more history, another church, and a square right in front of it. Just really colorful, alive, a lot of greenery. Really, Old San Juan's really special.
I like the big old trees that they kept too. They provide shade, and they're beautiful, and they're good for the environment. So
nicely said. As cue the tree coming up.
Another pretty building. Yep, there's a big pretty tree. I like this green building up here on the right with the arched, gated, are those doors or windows? I don't remember, but really pretty.
We are doing a lot of walking. All told, it's about 2 miles and then probably a half mile back to the ship. So it's a good amount of walking, but it's done over 2 hours, so it's not too bad.
And there we are. There's where we had been standing, and then there's the original
Old San Juan
old
gate. And again, you can see Juan, he did get excited about the history and sharing all of his knowledge.
I think he said he's a history student.
And we finish up at this plateau, which is El Morro. El Morro. Which is the famous fort that from the water is like 6-7 stories, but from this vantage point, you're really at the very top. So it doesn't look super impressive, but it is a very tall structure.
Yeah. Very cool.
So that's where our tour ended.
Yeah.
And you could have a nice, relaxing walk all the way back to the ship.
Or go to lunch.
Go to lunch.
Yeah.
And in fact, he airdropped you and others a full listing,
He
right?
did, yeah. So he said he could airdrop it or email. So I just turned on my airdrop and I got his whole list of recommendations of places to eat. And if you were gonna go and stay in San Juan, which we will be at some point, one of our cruises. So a list of restaurants, places to take dance classes or go dancing, and yeah, even a playlist, his favorite playlist. So yeah, he was really engaging, really great. Highly recommend this, and we'll put the link to their website in the description below too, so you can check that out.
Absolutely 5 stars on this excursion.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful.